What does it take to redefine beauty? Some of the most celebrated icons in history were at one point seen as too unconventional, too bold, or too shocking even for their time. From Diana Ross's creative expression and defiance of conformity to Julia Fox's modern-day rebellion, these are the stars who didn't just follow the rules, they rewrote them. Let's kick off the 70s with one of my personal favorites, Diana Ross. Diana is an iconic American singer and actress who rose to fame as the lead singer of the Supremes before embarking on a successful solo career, becoming one of the most influential and best-selling artists in music history, with hits like Ain't No Mountain High Enough and I'm Coming Out. During the 60s and 70s, when the civil rights movement and the natural hair movement were both picking up momentum, Diana Ross's natural afro became a powerful symbol of pride and heritage. Diana Ross has had an incredible beauty journey that is still continuing today. She's tried pretty much every hairstyle possible, and she's really known for her bold and unapologetic beauty looks. In the early 60s, when Diana Ross was part of the Supremes, her hair was often worn short and with lots of volume and shine. By the late 60s, she starts taking a lot more risks, with my favorite being this absolutely incredible hairstyle where she has a ton of extensions and huge flowers in her hair. Diana often incorporated braids into her looks, and then by the 70s, we start seeing her kind of leaning into the look that she becomes known for. Her biggest beauty impact came in the 70s, where she boldly embraced her natural curls in a free, voluminous, and larger-than-life style when she started touring as a solo artist. This was a revolutionary move during a time when many Black women felt societal pressure to straighten their hair, and her unapologetic celebration of her natural texture became a powerful statement of self-acceptance and cultural pride. Her makeup often featured thick lashes to accentuate her gorgeous eyes, and she often styled her hair with flowers, which was a symbol of peace during the 60s and 70s. Her ever-changing looks showed creativity, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to self-expression that inspired generations throughout her career. And today, she is still performing with her signature hair and her just unmatched level of glamour. Just look at this video from her performing in 2024. She's 80 years old, and she is one of the most glamorous and beautiful women I've ever seen. But beauty wasn't her only impact on society. Diana Ross's success as a Black woman in a predominantly white industry served as an inspiration for aspiring artists, really highlighting the power of creativity, resilience, reinvention, and self-expression. You'll notice all the celebrities in this video have some kind of theme of rebellion, and the next one is no exception, with Debbie Harry also continuing in the 70s. Debbie Harry, the iconic lead singer of Blondie, rose to fame in the late 70s with hit songs like Heart of Glass and Call Me, establishing herself as a pioneering figure in punk and new wave music while also pursuing a successful solo career and acting roles. She helped really bridge the gap between punk's raw edge and pop's broad appeal, creating kind of a unique sound that blended pop, punk, rock, and reggae. Debbie Harry became a symbol of female empowerment in the male-dominated music industry, and her unapologetic attitude and strong stage presence challenged traditional gender roles in rock music. Debbie's impact on culture was also notable, especially in the beauty and fashion world. Her distinctive blonde hair and dark highlights, smoky eye makeup, and eclectic style blended punk, glamour, and new wave aesthetics, and it really influenced a generation of artists and fans to challenge conventional beauty standards. Today, this doesn't seem very rebellious, but back then, Debbie Harry's choice to have blonde hair against really dark undertones was quite ahead of its time, predating the mainstream acceptance of unconventional hair colors. Her look really encapsulated the rebellious spirit of punk rock music while still maintaining a touch of glamour, and her influence extended far beyond music, inspiring fashion designers and hairstylists to experiment with contrasting colors and textures. What I appreciate about her style is that it really balanced toughness with glamour, and you can still see artists and fashion designers referencing her to this day. Debbie Harry said, "We started going out on the road for months on end, and I would have to chop and color my hair myself. But in rock and roll, or at least in my interpretation of it, the more radical and disturbing it looked, the better." I think the story of how they got their band name Blondie just perfectly encapsulates Debbie Harry's rebellious spirit. So the story goes that she would often walk around the streets of New York, and men would open their windows and scream Blondie at her, and then she decided to name the band that. And so I find it really interesting that she took something that was kind of a negative and, you know, a catcalling experience, and she turned it into the thing that was her power. And you really can't talk about a rebellious spirit without talking about David Bowie and his impact on not only culture, but beauty and fashion. David Bowie was a groundbreaking British musician, actor, and cultural icon whose career spanned over 5 decades, characterized by his innovative music, alter egos like Ziggy Stardust, and his constant reinvention. With hits such as Space Oddity, Heroes, and Let's Dance, Bowie became one of the most influential artists canvas of the 20th century, leaving an indelible mark on rock music and pop culture. Bowie was a pioneer in blending various music genres. He blended rock, glam, electronic, and soul, really pushing the boundaries of what was possible in pop music. And his creation of alter egos or personas like Ziggy Stardust or the Thin White Duke challenged traditional notions of identity and performance. And in his lyrics, Bowie addressed themes of alienation, gender fluidity, and societal change, resonating with audiences who were seeking alternative perspectives. Bowie embraced androgynous looks and really blurred gender lines. His use of vibrant makeup like bright eyeshadow and lip colors challenged gender norms and really paved the way for greater acceptance of gender fluidity in fashion. Designers like Alexander McQueen and Jean-Paul Gaultier have cited David Bowie as a major influence on their work, partly because of his ability to seamlessly blend high fashion with street style. And I just assumed as much, but last night I looked it up and it's true that Harry Styles has also cited David Bowie as a major source for him, both musically and sartorially. Bowie's ability to constantly reinvent himself while challenging societal norms continues to influence contemporary beauty trends, encouraging experimentation and self-expression. And David Bowie was not the only cultural innovator in his circle. His wife, Iman, also had a major impact on culture, particularly in beauty and cosmetics.
I think of him all the time. Yeah. People say, your late husband. I said, don't call my husband late. He's not my late husband. He's my husband. And he'll always be. He'll always be.
They got married in 1992, and they stayed together until David Bowie tragically passed away of cancer in 2016. And to this day, Iman still says that he is not her late husband, he's her husband, and that she's still married to him. And oh, that just makes me emotional. So Iman is a Somali-American model, actress, and entrepreneur. And she rose to fame in the 1970s and 80s on a global scale as one of the first Black supermodels to achieve global recognition in an industry that very much lacked diversity. Her groundbreaking career in fashion led to successful ventures in business, including the creation of her own cosmetics line, Iman Cosmetics. Launched in 1994, Iman Cosmetics was groundbreaking in offering a wide range of products for women of color, which addressed a huge gap in the market. As one of the first high-profile Black supermodels, Iman's radiant skin and bold use of earthy tones really challenged the Eurocentric beauty standards dominating the industry. Her influence helped shift the conversation toward creating beauty products for darker skin tones, highlighting the lack of options that were available at the time. Her pioneering efforts paved the way for future inclusive brands and helped to reshape the beauty industry's approach to diversity. If I could just pick one icon from the 80s who I think had the biggest mark on culture, not just in music, but also beauty and fashion, I would probably have to pick Madonna. Madonna is often referred to as the queen of pop, and she's an iconic American singer, songwriter, actress, and businesswoman whose career has spanned over 4 decades, marked by continuous reinvention and quite a bit of controversy. With numerous chart-topping hits, groundbreaking music videos, and quite a provocative public image, Madonna has become one of the most influential and best-selling recording artists of all time, pushing the boundaries in music, fashion, and beyond. Madonna encouraged women to be assertive and confident instead of submissive and passive. Her songs such as Express Yourself and Human Nature became absolute anthems for female empowerment, becoming a feminist icon and inspiring women to this day. She championed female sexuality and empowerment. She's been a very vocal supporter of the LGBTQ+ community, and she just constantly challenged societal taboos, with her music discussing ageism, religion, censorship, gender roles, and sexuality. In the early 80s, Madonna debuted a fresh-faced, natural look with bushy eyebrows that contrasted sharply with the polished glamour of her peers. The minimalist trend was really unexpected in a decade where beauty really meant heavy makeup. And her choice to embrace a more natural aesthetic inspired a wave of women to do the same, challenging the notion that heavy makeup was necessary for beauty and femininity. Madonna's impact on beauty and fashion is so hard to summarize in just a really short paragraph, but it was characterized by her fearless approach to self-expression, her ability to blend street style with high fashion, and her talent for turning controversial choices into mainstream trends. Her constant style evolution and reinvention encouraged fans to experiment with their own looks. You could tell she just had so much fun with fashion and sexuality despite the criticism that she often received, of which she received a lot. If anything, I think she really leaned into that controversy, especially with the use of religious imagery in her work. From the Like a Virgin wedding dress to the cone bra designed by Jean-Paul Gaultier, Madonna created so many iconic and controversial beauty and fashion moments that still inspire people to push boundaries today. Do me a favor when this video is done and go listen to Hung Up. You will not regret it. Before we move on, quick break to thank the sponsor of this video, YesStyle. YesStyle is an Asian beauty retailer, and they are currently having their Black Friday sale until November 28th. Thousands of products are up to 50% off, and you can also get an additional 15% off with my code StateOfKateBF15, which I'll leave right here. I'm a longtime fan of YesStyle because the value of their products are insane. Some of my favorite products of all time are just $5 on their site. It's a price that I can barely truly wrap my head around as an American whose drugstore prices are usually like $11, $15, sometimes even $20. And I will leave my top 5 favorite products from YesStyle linked in the description box below. I also have a really big YesStyle haul that I did on my channel a few months ago where I purchased over 50 products from the website with my own money. It's a really honest review of all these different products. It wasn't sponsored. It was just something that I wanted to create for beauty lovers. So if you want to know my thoughts on 50 different products from the website, I'll leave that video linked in the description box. So whether you're shopping for yourself, getting a gift for a friend, or maybe looking for products to recreate a look from this video, YesStyle is a great shop because their products are really high quality but at very affordable prices. You can shop the Black Friday sale until the 28th, and you can get an extra 15% off with my code StateOfKateBF15. If I could only pick one celebrity who I felt was the most culturally innovative but also the most underrated, it would have to be Grace Jones. Grace Jones is my #1 pick from this video. If you don't know her, Grace Jones is a Jamaican-American singer, model, and actress whose avant-garde and androgynous persona has made her a cultural icon since the 70s. Her boundary-pushing music blends genres like reggae, funk, post-punk, and new wave, along with her striking visual presence and provocative performances, has established her as one of the most influential and innovative artists of her generation. Grace Jones became a symbol of empowerment for marginalized communities, especially for LGBTQ+ individuals. Her collaborations with influential artists like Andy Warhol and Keith Haring further cemented her status as a cultural innovator. Grace's striking angular features and masculine meets feminine style pushed gender norms, and she leaned into this with the use of sculptural makeup, bold colors, and androgynous presentation in an era of hyper-feminine beauty. Her strong sculptural silhouettes influenced 1980s power dressing, and she collaborated with designers like Issey Miyake and Jean-Paul Goude, the latter of which directed her one-man show live performance and created her most iconic image. Of the aesthetic inspiration, Goude reflected, "I wanted to focus on Grace's masculinity, to use what other people thought an embarrassment and turn it around to her advantage. I wanted to create, with her of course, a new character. It went beyond just a haircut. It was an attitude. It was new and strong and ambiguous. You didn't know if it was a man trying to be a girl or a girl trying to be a man. It was a revolution. I remember the A&R guy at Island saying, 'Are you fucking crazy? This is never gonna work.' And of course it did." What I love about Grace, aside from her talent and her beauty and her unapologetic personality, is how she really leans into theatrics in every aspect of her art. She's walked many a runway show, and her live performances always blur the line between music, fashion, and performance art, leading her to be described as not a singer, not a model, not a dancer, not an actress, not a performance artist, all of that together, and therefore something else. Even today at 76, Grace Jones is still performing and still inspiring artists everywhere to push the boundaries with their work and embrace their full authentic selves. I couldn't possibly discuss the 90s without talking about my favorite childhood band, the Spice Girls. If you wanna be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. The Spice Girls were an English girl group formed in 1994, consisting of Mel B, Mel C, Emma Bunton, Jerry Halliwell, and Victoria Beckham. They became the best-selling girl group of all time, selling over 100 million records worldwide. And their impact on culture was profound in the most fun way possible. The Spice Girls' girl power mantra was such a wholesome and positive message of female empowerment, self-confidence, and friendship, and this form of pop feminism introduced a generation to feminist ideals in a relatable way. In terms of beauty and fashion, the Spice Girls were undeniable trendsetters. I mean, if you were not alive in the 90s or if you don't remember, they were a sensation. And the Spice Girls were the definition of camp. Each member had a distinct persona and style, which was mostly a marketing thing because obviously all of them are complex, multifaceted women who can't be ascribed to just one adjective. But the different personas were such a brilliant idea because it allowed fans to identify with different aspects of femininity and self-expression. Their iconic looks included platform shoes, mini dresses, crop tops, tracksuits, bold accessories, scrunchies, chokers, the little black dress, thigh-high slits, slip dresses, and chunky highlights. The makeup was also a little bit tailored to each woman, but they all wore like polished brows, bold eyeshadow, especially blue eyeshadow, glossy lips or metallic lips, lips, and other very defined 90s makeup aesthetics. The fact that the Spice Girls' signature styles have made a resurgence or a revival in recent years really demonstrates how the Spice Girls shaped not only a generation of music, but a visual identity. And continuing the theme of artists that meant a lot to me growing up, I just had to throw in Gwen Stefani because not only did I love her when I was growing up, but I also had the opportunity of seeing her perform with No Doubt at Coachella last year, and I cried like a baby. It was one of the best nights of my life. No Doubt was my second ever concert behind NSYNC, so I wanted to include her here because of her impact on 90s culture. Gwen Stefani is a rock star and fashion icon from Long Beach who rose to fame in the 90s as the lead singer of No Doubt. She achieved massive success with hits like Just a Girl and Don't Speak, and she had an equally successful solo career with hits like Holla Back Girl and The Sweet Escape. Gwen was so powerful to me growing up because she just had this combination of elements that kind of contrasted each other but worked so well. She was strong and athletic and powerful, but she was also really glamorous and feminine. She had that like punk rock edge, but then she also really leaned into that kind of old Hollywood glamour with the platinum hair and the red lips. She had a no fucks attitude, she swore, she was loud, she openly discussed themes of misogyny in her music. She was just the perfect idol for me growing up, and she was a total style chameleon. Known for her platinum blonde hair and her signature red lipstick, Gwen became a fashion icon, influencing trends with her mix of punk, glam, and vintage aesthetics. I just loved her white crop tops, her ever-changing hair colors, her penciled on eyebrows, her bold lips, studded belts, and just generally her unapologetic attitude. But her style was not without controversy. She was accused of cultural appropriation many times, especially for appropriating Japanese culture in her music style and live show in the early 2000s. Her extreme passion for Harajuku culture has sparked really important conversations about cultural sensitivity and representation, but she hasn't really internalized any of that, because she has even gone so far as to say in interviews somewhat recently that she literally considers herself Japanese. Nonetheless, Gwen's impact on culture in the 90s was undeniable and paved the way for women and generations to play with their gender expression. No Doubt played Coachella last year, and Missy Elliott is going to play Coachella next year, so let's talk about her. Missy Elliott is an iconic American rapper, singer, songwriter, and producer who rose to fame in the late 90s with her innovative music and groundbreaking music videos. As a woman in the male-dominated hip-hop industry, Missy Elliott challenged gender norms and paved the way for future generations of women in rap. Missy was known for her unique sound, which blended hip-hop, R&B, and electronic, but it was really her music videos that were revolutionary and iconic. She used innovative special effects and choreography that set new standards for visual artistry in the industry. From her debut in the 90s, she embraced a bold and eclectic aesthetic that blended hip-hop with futuristic elements. Her style evolution has been marked by avant-garde outfits, vibrant colors, matching suits with different prints and fabrics, and lots of accessories that have consistently pushed boundaries. The inflatable patent leather suit in the Super Duper Fly video is one of my all-time favorites of hers, and in that era, her makeup featured bold metallic lips, glossy skin, and abstract eyeliner. Her futuristic look influenced trends in hip-hop and pop culture, making metallic lips a beauty staple in the late 90s. Missy Elliott's fearless approach to beauty encouraged experimentation and self-expression, pushing the boundaries of what was considered acceptable both in mainstream music videos and in the male-dominated hip-hop industry. Our next icon may not be the most beloved character right now, but her impact on music, fashion, beauty, and the body positivity movement in the 90s and 2000s was undeniable. Jennifer Lopez is a Puerto Rican-American singer and actress who rose to fame in the late 90s, achieving success in both fields with hit movies like Selena and chart-topping songs such as If You Had My Love and Jenny from the Block. She's one of the most influential Latina artists in the entertainment industry, expanding her brand to include fashion lines, fragrances, and production venues. J.Lo helped lead the Latin pop movement in English music, having increased the influence and visibility of Latin culture in mainstream music. J.Lo has been credited with influencing a shift in mainstream body image, celebrating her curves in an era when ultra-thin figures dominated pop culture. Her success as a Latin woman in multiple entertainment fields challenged industry norms and paved the way for greater diversity and representation. In terms of beauty and fashion, J.Lo's signature bronzed, glowy skin became known as the J.Lo Glow, inspiring countless products and trends aimed at achieving her look. She wore a lot of body-hugging silhouettes and daring cutouts that redefined red carpet glamour, with her green Versace dress worn to the 2000 Grammy Awards being credited with literally inspiring the creation of Google Images. It remains one of the most talked about fashion moments in history. I was quite young at the time, but I do remember in the year 2000, the standard accepted body type was the horribly named heroin chic figure. Based on my research, curvy bodies were already the standard of beauty in Black and Latino communities, but J.Lo and her red carpet dressing brought it to the mainstream, aka white culture. J.Lo may not be 2024's most beloved celebrity after a bunch of different controversies over the past few years, but her impact on body positivity, representation, and inclusivity is undeniable. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but just hear me out. While Lauren Conrad was certainly not a trailblazer that pushed the boundaries of society or was a global mega talent, she had an undeniably huge and quite unexpected influence on culture and beauty. Lauren Conrad is a reality TV star, fashion designer, and author who rose to global fame on the MTV reality shows Laguna Beach and The Hills in the early 2000s. Lauren was huge, and at that point, I don't really remember any reality TV stars receiving as much global attention as she did. Lauren Conrad was the driving force behind reality TV stars crossing over into mainstream celebrity status, and her impact on beauty and fashion as a result was pretty substantial. I think part of the appeal of Lauren Conrad when she was on these reality TV shows was that she was just a regular teenager. There really wasn't anything particularly special about her. But that's kind of what allowed so many people to connect with her. Now, if you were in my cultural bubble, Lauren Conrad pretty much became a household name, and that marked a shift in how celebrity was created and perceived in the early 2000s. What was so unexpected about Lauren was her ability to maintain relevance and expand her influence beyond TV. And that made the model for future reality TV participants to build sustainable careers. She was authentic. She was not particularly talented. It was just honestly kind of refreshing that she was just a young adult kind of trying and fumbling to make it in Hollywood. Now, in my opinion, Lauren's biggest impact was on creating the reality TV star that we know today, and then pretty much setting the model for how to monetize your brand. But she also had a really significant impact on beauty and culture, at least in the millennial bubble that I was growing up in. In the beauty and fashion world, Lauren's influence was pretty much unheard of for a reality TV star. Her signature style included liquid eyeliner, glossy lips for daytime, and matte red lips for night, tan skin, beachy highlighted hair, and a kind of California cool aesthetic, which became widely emulated by fans around the world. She embodied the Y2K style of jeans, velour tracksuits, bubble dresses, fedoras, wide belts, huge sunglasses, knit beanies, and headbands were all staples in her wardrobe. And like just saying that out loud gives me the biggest feeling of nostalgia ever. Lauren capitalized on this massive influence by launching multiple brands, including Elsie Lauren Conrad for Kohl's and Paper Crown, which offered accessible and aspirational fashion to her followers. Her beauty book, Lauren Conrad Beauty, shared her personal experiences and tips. So while she may not be considered this groundbreaking mega talent, her business sense and her success in entrepreneurship was really what pushed the limits of reality TV. If I haven't convinced you of Lauren's impact just yet, hear me out. Lauren was so popular and crossing over into mainstream success that she was actually the best-selling cover star in 2013. She appeared on the cover of Cosmo, Redbook, Marie Claire, People Style Watch, Elle, Lucky, Redbook, Rolling Stone, Entertainment Weekly, Marie Claire, Women's Health, Glamour, Allure, 17, and Shape. In my opinion, Lauren was one of the original influencers, and publications have gone as far as to say that she is the third most enduring reality TV star behind Kim Kardashian and Donald Trump. Lauren Conrad's success in these industries demonstrated the power of personal branding and the potential for reality TV stars to become legitimate fashion and beauty entrepreneurs, making her one of the most unexpected beauty icons of the early 2000s. But when I think about who dominated like the 2010s, I think of Rihanna. And yes, she herself has said it's Rihanna.
When you introduced yourself to me all those years ago, because you almost didn't expect people to know who you were, you said Rihanna.
I knew this was the question. It is Rihanna.
Thank you.
Rihanna is a global pop and R&B star who seamlessly expanded her influence into fashion, beauty, and entrepreneurship. From her breakout hit Pon de Replay in 2005 to her groundbreaking Fenty Beauty line and Savage X Fenty line, Rihanna has consistently pushed boundaries and redefined success across multiple industries. During her Umbrella era, Rihanna's bold, asymmetrical bob marked a sharp departure from the long, glamorous hair that dominated pop culture. The edgy cut was actually so impactful that it became the most requested hairstyle hairstyle worldwide in salons, cementing Rihanna's status as a global trendsetter. But where I think Rihanna truly shines, aside from her obvious beauty and incredible talent and confidence, is her entrepreneurship and her business sense. Her launch of Fenty Beauty in 2017 totally disrupted the beauty industry by offering quite an unprecedented 40 shades of foundation, which set a new standard for inclusivity that almost everyone references as a pivotal shift in the beauty space. Her collaborations with brands like Puma and her own Savage X Fenty lingerie line have promoted body positivity, and Rihanna became the first woman and the first person of color to lead a luxury brand for the LVMH group. Aside from the fact that she's stunning, she's hilarious, and she makes absolute bangers, Rihanna's entrepreneurial spirit and her versatility, confidence, and dedication to inclusivity really cemented her as one of my all-time favorite beauty icons that just consistently pushed boundaries. Moving into the late 2010s, we have Lizzo. Lizzo is a Grammy Award-winning singer, rapper, songwriter, and flutist who rose to mainstream success with hit singles like Truth Hurts and Juice. She became one of the most influential artists of the late 2010s and early 2020s for her unique blend of pop, hip-hop, and R&B, and her talent as a classically trained flutist. Fun fact, Lizzo actually lived in my apartment building from about 2017 to almost 2020, where she lived in a one-bedroom apartment in historic Filipino town with her sister and her mom. And the crazy part was that she was just a regular person like us, and we watched her career literally explode overnight. As a plus-size Black woman in the music industry, Lizzo became a powerful advocate for body positivity, self-love, and inclusivity. Her music promotes messages of empowerment that encourages fans to embrace their authentic selves, regardless of size, race, or gender. Lizzo has redefined beauty standards by consistently showcasing her body in bold, glamorous outfits on red carpets, in music videos, and in social media. Her fashion choices often feature bright colors, interesting cuts, and playful accessories. Her unapologetic use of glitter, vibrant makeup, ever-changing hairstyles, and her celebration of her body challenged traditional beauty norms that often excluded plus-size women. Her influence has contributed to a greater demand for diverse representation in fashion campaigns and a push for broader size ranges in clothing lines. In the past few years, Lizzo has come under fire for allegations of sexual harassment, assault, and weight shaming by her dancers, which is really disappointing. But I still wanted to include her because it doesn't change the impact that her art and public presence had on culture, especially the growing demand for inclusivity and representation in fashion and cosmetics. When I think about who's had potentially the biggest impact on Gen Z as a generation, I would have to pick Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is an American singer-songwriter who skyrocketed to fame in 2015 with her debut single Ocean Eyes, and has since become one of the most influential artists of her generation, winning multiple Grammy Awards and breaking numerous records. As a voice for Gen Z, Billie's music explores themes of mental health, body image, and general youth experiences, and she uses her platform to advocate for social justice causes and environmental concerns. Billie is a prime example of how pop stardom has shifted in the 2020s. Her signature, oversized, gender non-conforming style choices made a powerful statement against the objectification of young women in the entertainment industry. She has been very vocal about her disapproval of being sexualized from such a young age, despite working tirelessly against that. And that's reflective of culture at large. We've seen a shift not only of women, but of everybody kind of rebelling against gender norms and, dressing for themselves rather than for the male gaze. In terms of specific beauty and fashion choices, Billie Eilish has used her hair as a dramatic form of branding and self-expression, with her neon green and black hair challenging conventional beauty standards where stars traditionally lean into sexuality and femininity. Fans responded to this by experimenting with their own hair, making neon and bright colored hair popular among Gen Z, as well as oversized shorts, bandanas, edgy accessories, sneakers, and black eyeliner in the waterline. Billie is the perfect icon to represent today's youth and their desire for more authentic, raw, and socially aware stars. And lastly, when I think of somebody who really embodies what audiences are craving from celebrity culture in 2024, I think of Julia Fox. Julia Fox is one of my favorites. She's an actress, model, and artist who gained recognition for her debut role in the 2019 film Uncut Gems, and later became a tabloid obsession because of her short relationship with Kanye West in 2022. She's known for her unconventional style, her DIY outfits, and her authentic bold, unapologetic personality. She's all about boundary-pushing style, creative expression, provocative outfits, and shameless self-promotion. Her openness has helped a lot of people to destigmatize drug addiction and sex work, and despite only being a public figure for a few years, Julia has resonated with so many people who are disillusioned with the super polished, PR-driven star persona. The biggest and first viral beauty moment that Julia Fox had was when she smeared graphic black eyeliner all over her eyes at Paris Fashion Week. It felt like more performance art than traditional makeup look. Of the eyeliner, Julia said, "Look, I was losing weight from being so busy and my ass went away, and so I had to focus on my second best feature, my eyes." Julia's DIY approach to fashion, often creating her own outfits from scratch, aligns with a growing interest in sustainable fashion and personalized style. I would describe her aesthetic as bold and daring, with lots of skin showing, sculpted and draped pieces, and lots of unique textures and fabrics. She's always making outfits herself. She's worn outfits made out of condoms and plastic, and there's often a futuristic elements to the clothes she wears. Julia Fox is the definition of do what makes you happy and give no fucks. She experiments with everything, and she just doesn't take herself too seriously. So in a world where celebrities are super stiff and polished and they're all just driven PR machines, Julia Fox is such a breath of authentic fresh air. Where celebrities tend to try not to rock the boat, Julia Fox clearly leans into the shock factor, and for that, I really appreciate how she's pushing the boundaries of fashion and beauty. I think this journey through time reveals that true icons dare to be different and use their platforms to inspire change and encourage others to embrace their authentic selves. I know this was more of a top line overview of the impact that these stars had, but let me know if you want me to turn this into a series and do more of a deep dive. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.